Hello, everyone. Queenie Mixie here. I'm doing a quick video today, and I've decided to tackle this topic because I noticed not a lot of people really have videos on this out here. So I figured, why not? This is one of my. I want to start by saying this before anybody misinterprets what the title is. I am not attacking Thorgy Thor. I am not encouraging hate towards Thorgy Thor. So please, anything that I say in this video, do not send hate to Thorgy. She's a talented queen. As far as I've researched, and trust me, I've researched a lot into this particular queen. As far as I've researched, she is not the enemy. She is not a bad person at all. She is somebody who does a lot for the community, is somebody who, as far as I've researched, every single person that's ever worked with her has had nothing but nice things to say about her. And I'm going to keep it as respectful as possible. I just want to basically talk about, well, it's in the title, her hair. I've noticed it's become a little bit of a topic recently with a bunch of different people. And the topic pretty much is, should she be allowed to have the dreadlocks that she has? Whether or not it is okay for her to do so, whether or not it is culturally insensitive for her to have dreadlocks. Let's start before we even go into whether or not it's okay for her to have or not. We need to first establish what dreadlocks are. Dreadlocks are a type of hair that span across multiple different cultures for multiple different reasons. Some cultures wear their hair in locks for spiritual reasons, such as Jamaican culture, Native American culture, and even to some extent, Norwegian culture and Scandinavian culture as well. Egyptian culture used dreadlocks, and so did the Greeks. There are multiple cultures across the world where dreadlocks have come from. So let us start with that. It is not exactly easy to pinpoint where dreadlocks originated, but it is easy to pinpoint that they most certainly came from multiple different cultures, whether that be from many African tribes, some Native American tribes, some parts in Hindu culture. Sorry, I couldn't say that properly. Some parts in Scandinavian and Norwegian culture. You get the idea. They've spanned across the world. Dreadlocks have been around for quite some time, and they've spanned across multiple different cultures. So now that we have an understanding of what dreadlocks are, we know what they look like. I don't think I need to describe what they look like because we've seen them. Most of us have seen them growing up. So I'm going to start by saying this. It's just my personal opinion, and then I'm going to say what I think about people having opinions on it is. My personal opinion, I don't have an issue with Thorgy wearing dreadlocks at all. That's her hair. If she wants to wear them in her own private life, like that's just how she wants to look, that's her thing. I'm not going to take that away from her. I'm not going to say, how dare you do this? How dare you do this? Because I'm not even from the culture. It's not my place to say whether or not she can or can't do it. It's her business and what she chooses to do with her hair. With that being said, if someone from the actual culture, which as we've established, there are multiple cultures who've worn dreadlocks, some that still live today, like again, Native Americans. Now, it is also important to know Norwegian people also heavily wore dreadlocks, and it is also important to note that Thorgy is Norwegian and is heavily proud of her culture. We see that on her Instagram a lot. So, is it bad for her to wear it? It depends on who you ask. I've met some people who do take issue with what her hair is, but they like her as a person. I've seen people who don't take issue with her hair and think that's just her. And I've seen people who are pretty indifferent to it. So the opinion you're going to get as to whether or not her hair is okay to wear, not okay to wear, it's always going to be different. It's never going to be the same. And here's what I think. If you personally are offended by what she chooses to wear in her hair, you have every right to feel however you want to feel with that opinion. With that being said, however, where it crosses a line is when you start sending her death threats over it, when you start sending her physical threats over it, where you threaten to rip it out of her hair if you ever saw her in person or physically assault her. That's where I take issue. If you just go to her page and say, hey, I don't think this is very appropriate. I love you, girl, but I don't think this is appropriate thing for you to wear. I don't have an issue with that. I think you are entitled to feel however you want to feel in that matter, as long as you are respectful and understanding, as long as you're also not sending a death threat or threatening her life or doxing her. That is where I personally draw the line. Now, you can think however you want to think. If you do not wish to support Thorgy, then don't support her. You don't have to. You don't have to see her page. You don't have to see her performances. You can feel however you want to feel about Thorgy. That's your opinion. That's your right. That is your freedom of speech. Keep it civil. Keep it respectful. Because there's a way to educate Thorgy without saying nasty things about her appearance, nasty things about what you want to do to her, or threatening physical violence. That's just it. I've repeated it 3 times. That's where I take issue. So, in conclusion, if you don't support Thorgy Thor, don't support her. Don't follow her on any social medias. Don't. You don't have to. If you do support Thorgy Thor, don't feel ashamed to support her. She's a campy, funny queen, one of the nicest people I've ever met, and one of the nicest people ever, according to most drag performers I've spoken to. They've said she's one of the nicest people. A little wacky, a little cuckoo, but we expect that from our queens. So, in conclusion, if you love her, send her love. If you hate her, don't follow her. That's been my thoughts on whether or not Thorgy should have dreadlocks or no. I hope you like this video. And Thorgy, please understand, if you ever find this video, I love you, I cherish you, and I will keep supporting you. Dreadlocks or no, I love you, girl. Keep making me laugh. And I look forward to your eventual All-Stars return one day. Thank you. This has been Kunimitsu signing out.